KION special report tonight. Lettuce growers were dealing with their own pandemic this year. You can say that's a tiny insect targeting crops that's cost millions of dollars in damage to lettuce fields. KION's Courtney Aiken has this special report tonight on how the state plans to address the problem.
The Salinas Valley is well known for its reputation as the salad bowl of the world, as it is one of the largest producers of leafy greens. But as the state tackled a global pandemic this past year, crops were fighting a disease all their own. What appears to be a healthy lettuce plant may very well be the host of a virus. Unlike foodborne illnesses like E. coli, this virus targets the plant rather than humans. It's called INSV, and it stands for Impatiens necrotic spot virus.
The virus was first described, I think, in 2005 in Monterey County, and it's never posed the problem that it has posed in the last few years, especially last year, where we had a very severe outbreak, and the virus just kept moving from one field to the next.
The virus is carried by tiny insects called thrips. Not an inch long, these organisms can cause miles worth of damage.
So we had crop damage that amounted to something in the territory of $50 to $100 million.
And that's in the 2020 year alone. But according to Jennifer Clark, executive president of the California Leafy Greens Research Board, large-scale growers and shippers aren't the only ones who are losing out on profit.
There is a loss of work then for those field workers, primarily the harvesting crews really lose out on earnings.
Professor and researcher J.P. Dundor-Arias explains that when one crop is infected, it's all too easy for entire fields to acquire the virus. And when this happens,
they don't send their farm workers, their labor or their harvest crews to those fields, so those people don't make an income because there is nothing to be harvested there.
And to further complicate things, INSV is often accompanied by another illness called Pythium wilt. And rather than being transmitted by insects, Pythium is born in the soil.
Plants use their roots to absorb the water from the soil. So because the roots are rotten, they cannot pump the water or take any water, so the plants start wilting.
But regardless of their origins, Dundor-Arias says that these viruses seem to go hand in hand.
The main challenge is that with these two diseases, they seem to co-occur very often.
So how do we stop them? Zitsky says that it starts with a task force of dedicated researchers.
It's wonderful to see that everybody's been so willing to share information and their insights about this disease, because our ultimate goal is to develop an integrated pest management program to control it.
A goal that may be closer now. During a press conference on Monday, California Assemblymember Robert Rivas approved a $1 million budget for agricultural research, some of which will go toward finding ways to control INSV and Pythium wilt.
We are very grateful to the industry and obviously for this support.
More research may be needed, but Zitsky is confident that her team can tackle these issues. Despite the presence of the INSV and Pythium viruses, Monterey County remains to be the leading producer of leafy greens, and the Assembly member's new budget hopes to keep it that way. In the Digital Operations Center, I'm Courtney Aiken for KION News, Channel 546.